Hello kings and queens, and welcome to another week with Ehiagwina. So this week we are exploring the blame culture on women in 3 different countries and in 3 different continents. Today we are starting from Nigeria, and we are starting from the ex-couple, Ehiagwina and Philip Ehiagwina. So Ehiagwina and Philip Ehiagwina came into the spotlight back in 2008 when they announced that they were getting married. Ehiagwina has been working as an actress in the movie industry in Nigeria since 2005 or 2004. I remember that I was still a teenager back then, and that my ex-boyfriend had this mega crush on her. Didn't go well with me. Anyway, when the news of their engagement broke out, something else broke out. It was seen that Philip was involved with another woman by the name Ruth when he was dating Ehiagwina, and when they announced that they were getting married, she didn't take it well. Anyway, just like in the case of Mercy Johnson's, they still went ahead to get married, but unfortunately they divorced in 2014. Now, nobody knows exactly why they divorced, because neither Ehiagwina or Philip came out to give an interview and explain in details why their marriage didn't work. All we know is that everybody was pointing their finger at Ehiagwina. Why? Well, first of all, Ehiagwina had this reputation of being a bad girl. Together with Tonto DK, she was the favorite person or actress to write about in gossip blogs and tabloids. There were always rumors of her flirting with married men, or going to the club, or getting into trouble on set. So she had this negative press constantly following her. Also, like I said, the marriage was trouble from the start. There was another woman in the picture. Like in the case of Toke Makinwa, when I spoke about women having to declare how they make their money, and I mentioned that there is a stigma attached to women who work in the show business. They are usually considered to be promiscuous and sexually loose. So whenever something goes wrong, instinctively people look at the woman and think, okay, she must have done something, because actresses always do something. But perhaps we might consider that because of all these factors, Ehiagwina did not want a divorce. The last thing you want is to end the very institution that, gives you a sort of respect within the society. Because Ehiagwina had been struggling for so long to get respected by people. It was either she was being called a slut, or she was being called rude, or she was being called all sorts of names. And finally she got married. There is no way that, in my opinion, she would jeopardize that situation by going out to act silly. But unfortunately, people still thought that she was responsible for the breakdown of their marriage. And in fact, she was accused of committing adultery. It was such a huge accusation, and something that went on for so long, that Ehiagwina had to come out and release an interview saying, "I never cheated on my husband." Anyway, they both seem to be very happy today. They've both moved on. They have both remarried. And Ehiagwina had this banging revenge body. Like, her body is insane. Why do we always blame women when a marriage ends? Well, we've already said this, and I think I've said it more than once or twice. Women are raised to aspire to marriage. It's the purpose of her life. So it is her responsibility to make sure that marriage happens, marriage lasts, and that every problem in the marriage is solved. Marriage is a woman's duty. Just like money is a man's duty. The point is, when you do not meet up with the societal expectations, people will come at you. It doesn't matter what went wrong. It doesn't matter what the other person did. It doesn't matter if the other person did every single thing they could have done to break the marriage down. It is your duty. It's like, for example, the guards at Buckingham Palace. It is their duty to make sure that nobody enters. There are no intruders. So, if anything happens, they will always blame the guard, because that is what you are expected to do. Okay, so when we say, but those guards are being paid, women are not being paid. Women are being paid. I mean, according to the society, their pay is the fact that now they are a Mrs. Somebody. They are being paid with respect. So why aren't you doing the job? Or don't you like the fact that you are respected? And secondly, If it is your duty to make sure that a marriage stands, you are not allowed to make mistakes. You are not allowed to do anything that could compromise the marriage. Why on earth would you want to shoot yourself in the foot? Why? You have one simple job. Keep the union intact. No mistakes. We don't want to hear from you. We just want to know that you are still married, that you are still a Mrs. Somebody. And that is because women, like I said, are not considered people. We are not seen as human beings. We are not allowed to have vices. We are not allowed to live our emotions. I'm using Nigeria as a case study, but this is something that goes beyond the borders of Nigeria. Even in America, there is a very big difference between the way the press will report a female politician and the way they will report a male politician. A male politician can get angry, a male politician can get hysterical, he can lash out, but a female politician cannot do the same. Because women are not allowed to be that emotionally expressive. And you will say, is this not a contradiction? Aren't we the weaker vessels? I mean, we are weak, they should allow us to be weak. No, no. Because women are here to fulfill a fantasy. The fantasy of a man, okay? You are supposed to be modeled after what a man wants and after what a man seeks. A man wants to be able to do what he wants, and he seeks a companion that will tolerate everything that he does. You are there to make sure that no matter what he does, everything remains intact. But at the same time, you are not allowed to complain when he tries to ruin. So when a man makes mistakes and you do not fix these mistakes, you are held responsible for those mistakes. Because it will mean that you have failed in your duties. And that is why when the marriage breaks down, the woman takes the decision. That's all for today, guys. I will see you next time to discuss another couple in another country, in another continent. See you now. Bye-bye.